Hi, sir. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. So let's wait for 1 to 2 minutes for this to join. Okay, I think 7:03. We should start now. Maybe others they will be joining. Okay. So before proceeding, any question, anything you want to discuss, any topic which you want to repeat? Okay. No, that's fine. So yesterday we talked. My screen is visible now.
Yeah, visible.
Okay. So yesterday we were discussing about Recon. We have seen the main purpose of reconciliation, why we are doing. Okay. And then this is a very generic SQL query. If you have to validate the recon, if you are doing the reconciliation. Okay. So it's like you are doing a minus query. Okay. And this query is in regard to migration projects. Okay. So it is like you have migrated your data from table 1 to table 2. Just very simple example I have shown, but maybe you might be having n number of tables from which you are moving your data to n number of target tables. Okay. So just one example I have taken. So if you have table 1, then if you are moving to the table 2, so you should perform column 1, column 2, whatever column you have from table 1 minus this columns in table 2. Okay. And you should do union as well. So generally, whenever you're using minus query, please make a note. You should do minus both the ways, like table 1 minus table 2. Then you should do table 2 minus table 1 as well, and a union. So if anything, you're getting extra in table 2, junk values, or maybe anything is missed out in table 1, you should get both the data, both the information. That's why make it a habit whenever you're using minus query to check the data which has been loaded in target table correctly or not. You should do table 1 minus table 2 union table 2 minus table 1. Okay, fine. Moving to the next one. What's the difference between recon and end-to-end testing? Any idea? What is the difference between reconciliation testing and end-to-end testing?
End-to-end testing means it starts from file and ends with reports testing.
Correct. Okay, very good.
Uh, Reconciliation means we are uh, checking the data between two databases like that only. Right?
Correct, correct. See, recon testing and end-to-end testing, they both are totally different. Okay, they both are totally different. End-to-end testing means you are going to test, your testing will start from the file level validation, right? You do the basic file level validation, naming convention, all those things, what we have seen in file level validation. Then you will check your control and jobs, whether the job is running correctly or not, the expectation of the job is correct or not. And then you will load data in a stage, you will do validation in a stage, then integration layer, then access layer, and then report. So this is end-to-end testing. Okay. But in recon testing, it's not like end-to-end testing. Maybe in recon testing, you are just testing the two tables. The data from one table has moved to another table or not. If you're working migration project, okay. Or maybe if there is a requirement from the business stakeholders that okay, do a reconciliation of this particular report. So you will be doing recon of a report for a particular period only. Okay, so recon testing is limited. This is a specific to a requirement, but end-to-end testing is not a specific to a requirement. You are doing end-to-end testing from source till the report. Okay, these are the questions which are asked in the interview. That's I thought that I will add this and can discuss. Yeah. Next question is let's start with the smoke testing and then we'll discuss why the name is smoke testing and all these things. Okay. So smoke testing is smoke testing is performed post software build. So first of all, let me tell you what is this smoke testing. Then we'll go through these points. Okay. First of all, let me tell you why the name is smoke testing, from where it came. Okay. So actually, this smoke testing word has been taken from the automobile industry or a machinery industry. Okay, let me tell you the history of this. So in the earlier days, okay, whenever any manufacturing plant, they will manufacture any machine or any other thing. Okay. So they will just check the very high level functionality. Okay, very high level functionality. Because during those days, that much accuracy and all the instrument was not there through which we can test the machines and all those things. So they will just on it and they will check it that if there is any damage or anything short circuit happened or any loose connection is there because of which the smoke is coming from the system or system is damaged, something like that. Okay, maybe suppose you brought a you bought a new electrical appliance, anything, maybe heater, inverter, a geyser or any other thing. Okay, and you switched it on and immediately smoke is coming. Okay, so what you will do, immediately you will switch it off. You will not think further. Okay, and you will be afraid as well that why the smoke is coming. So initial very high level testing, it has failed. So you will go to that shop and you will tell that okay, this is the problem with this electrical appliance, the smoke is coming. So that is why during those days, if they have to test an electrical appliance, so they will just check that the smoke is not coming and all those things. Okay, that's why the name is smoke testing. So you're just checking that very high level of critical functionalities are working or not. You will not go in depth. Okay, you will not go in depth. Or suppose you you bought a television. So first of all, you will check that okay, it is getting opened perfectly or not, and then you will check for other functionalities. Or similarly for mobile, you bought a mobile, and even if it is not getting open or it is getting hanged, so you will not check further functionality. You will be disappointed at that point of time only, right? So similarly in smoke testing, we are checking first of all the critical functionalities, the important functionalities of the software, whether these things are working or not. Then I will go in the depth. If those functionalities are not working, then you will tell the developers that okay, these important functionalities are not working, so it is of no use to check for the other functionalities. So that's why whenever your development team is asking you that okay, this particular functionality we have developed, please start testing in your set environment. So that is why you might know that your leads or project manager will tell you that first of all perform the smoke testing. Okay, so what they're expecting from you is you should check that the important or critical or very high level functionality, okay, it is working or not, so that if there is any issue you should return it back to the developer that no, this is not working, please fix this issue, then I will start testing. Otherwise, if you will start from the basic functionality and all those things, and after 1 or 2 days you discovered that the main functionality is not working, so you have wasted your 1 or 2 days of effort, because again you have to test the same functionality. So that is why whenever you are getting a new code or new functionality for testing, first of all check the important functionality and don't take much time. That's the requirement here. You should just do the smoke testing in 1 to 2 hours or 3 hours. Okay, and if the critical functionalities are working fine, then you should tell them that okay, this is working fine. Now I will do the in-depth testing. I will do the testing of each and every functionality. Okay, is that clear? So, and this is the reason we have this smoke testing, and that's the name is smoke. It's just the critical functionalities we are testing. If it looks good, then we will move further. As the name is, smoke testing is performed post software build. So once the developer has developed the software, then you have to do the smoke testing just to check that the important functionalities are working or not. Then you will perform the in-depth testing. Verifies the critical functionality of the system. Just to verifying the critical functionalities. It's generally done before testing teams start testing. This is the self-testing team to save time and effort, right? This will help them to save time and effort, because they, if there is any gap or anything is broken in the software, then immediately you can report them to the development team. Only critical important functionalities are tested. This is performed generally by developers and testers. Yeah, developers also used to do this, but generally it's really done by the testers. Okay. Any question on this smoke testing, especially the freshers, 3 to 4 years of experience, maybe you can get this kind of questions in interviews. Any question, guys?
Hi,
Clear?
Tanvir.
Yeah.
Actually, how it is related to ETL? Is there anything they will test in ETL? ETL testing? Yeah.
Sorry, Sunil,
Or
I
like
didn't get you.
this smoke testing is how it is related to ETL.
Okay, okay. How it is related to ETL? Okay, okay. Correct, correct. Okay. So how it is related to ETL is, suppose the developer, they have developed the code, okay, and they have given this. So, but you are correct. Mostly this is related to the UI testing or front end testing. That if the developers have created a portal, so you have to test that okay, login functionality is working correctly or not, particular button is working correctly or not. But how it is related to ETL? Okay, so it is related to ETL in such a way. I will tell you. Development team has told you that okay, the code has developed. Okay, they have developed the code. So the first thing what you have to do is check the environment. Okay, in the environment, all the tables are present or not. First of all, your environment is SIT, right? SIT. So you have to check in SIT all the tables are present or not. Now, how you will check? You don't have to write the query, select to start from this table, select to start from this table. No, that you don't have to do. Just open your database platform, whether it is Oracle SQL Developer or Microsoft SQL Server. If you have worked on that, so if you will see on the left side you have connections options, right? And then you will drill it down. No, so go to the particular schema in which your tables are present. Then you will see the names of the tables which is present there. Okay, so just check those names are present or not. That's all. If any table name is missing, okay, suppose employee table is missing, so you should not test further. Tell to the developers that this employee table is missing. Sometimes it happens. Okay. So that's the one smoke testing. You're not going in depth. You're just checking very high level. The tables are there or not. First thing. Second thing. If the development team has loaded the data is fine. Otherwise, if you have to load the data, just randomly check few files, run the control M job, check the data is getting loaded or not. So if the job is getting failed because of any reason, immediately you have to tell the developers that this job is not behaving perfectly. Okay, or if data is not getting loaded, okay, or the environment is not ready, environment is unstable. These are the very high level things which you have to check. Okay, and then coming to the transformation logic, maybe some logic is very complicated, okay, and you are trying to test from static. I remember like once I was working in a on a logic, and that has taken 1 week of time to test it and to frame a query, and that query was 300 lines of codes. I remember it. So in those scenarios, no, you don't have to just start from scratch. Just check that very high level that logic is working correctly or not. Just check at a very high level SCD is correct, working correctly or not. Okay. So these are the things which you can check. But the transformation logic is again something in depth. So before that, you should check that the tables are there or not in the correct schema. Control M job, if you're running it, it's coming correctly or not. And then go to the report directly. Okay, check if that you are able to log in into that uh, OBI platform or whatever platform. Okay, and select randomly any one report, and then apply some filters and click on submit button. See if the numbers are coming or not. Just don't check that it is coming correctly or not. Just check that the numbers are coming or not. The report is coming up or not. Just check the download function. So you don't have to go in depth analysis. Just hit all the functionalities and check if it is working or not. Okay, that's thing like from ETL perspective, you can do. And no, this is the points which I have told. We have faced problem in this. Okay, and then we started testing, and after some time we realized that okay, this particular table is missing. Okay, so again we have to do the same effort. We have to tell the developers that okay, fix this. Then again the 2 days effort what I have invested in testing other functionalities is of no use, because again you have to test it. So these are the basic things you can do in a smoke testing. So the main purpose of smoke testing is just touch the important functionalities and see that it is responding or not. You're not supposed to check with them how it is responding. Just check it is responding or not. Okay, that is something like smoke testing. Is it fine?
Yeah, Tanur, yeah, clear.
Okay. So that's the main purpose of this smoke testing. Okay.
Sir, it is generally done before the testing team starts. Means development
Perfect,
team.
perfect. Very good. You have to do this before the testing team will start, or the development team has told you that, okay, Mr. DBC, we have developed this code, please start testing. So this is for your own safety and for your own, what I can say, like benefit only. Okay, that you will just touch the main functionalities. Okay, and see okay these things are ready or not, and then you should start testing that okay fine tables are there, environment is stable. If I'm running a job is not getting failed. If I'm opening a report is getting open. I'm able to download the report. You don't have to check that how it is the numbers are correct or not. Okay, no, you don't have to check that how much time it is taking to open all this. No, just touch and see it. Suppose sometime you will see in movies know that there is an accident. Okay, and the relatives or friends have taken that particular patient or victim in the hospital. So immediately, first of all, what doctors will check? They will check that he is alive or not. First thing, okay. If he's alive, then he will do the further analysis. They will do the further investigation. That what's the problem? Where is a fracture, or maybe whatever it may be. They will do the treatment accordingly. So they are checking first of all he is alive or not. That is what you have to check. That is smoke testing. You have to test that the systems they are alive or not, they are working or not. That's all. How they are working, they're responding correctly or not. That's what is not the smoke testing. Okay, hope it's clear.
Yeah, clear.
Okay, perfect. Now moving to the next one. Uh, sanity testing. You see, smoke testing and sanity testing, they both are very different, guys. Okay, very different. And you know, interviewers they used to confuse candidates. Many of my candidates they get confused after interview, and that's the reason I have added these two slides, because in the beginning it seems that they're very simple. Why to discuss this? But purposely I have added these two slides because the interviewers they will confuse you. Okay, because most of the candidates they think that the smoke testing and sanity testing they both are same. No, they both are not same, guys. They both are means I can tell to a very high level they both are different. So let's see what is sanity testing. Okay, okay. Sanity testing performed by testers only. Yeah, testers will be responsible for this, and smoke testing is also performed. Generally, 90% of the cases, smoke testing will be performed by testers only. Okay, part of regression testing. So let me first explain you what is this sanity testing, and then we will see further in this. Okay, suppose try to understand this. Okay, suppose uh, suppose uh, okay, you are working on a banking application, okay, and the requirement is uh, that the development team has to uh, write a formula to calculate simple interest. Okay, formula is PRT. Then they have to write a formula to calculate compound interest. Okay, so again in compound interest you have those components of PRT, right? And then you have to calculate amount as well. Okay, then you have to calculate the total amount accumulated after 10 years of time. Okay, so you are working on the banking application and this is the requirement. So development team, they have developed all these things. Okay, and it came to you for testing. So you started your testing, you have done the basic smoke testing. You have checked that okay, tables are there, data has been loaded. You have clicked on the report is also getting generated. So you thought, okay, smoke testing is perfect, things are working. So then you thought that okay, let's start doing testing in depth. So you started to now, first of all, you have checked that simple interest calculation is working correctly or not. You have checked it and it is working perfectly. Okay, then you went to the next formula, compound interest. While checking or testing the compound interest formula, you observe that this formula is not working as per the expectation. So what you will do? You will raise a defect, right? Then developers will look into that and suppose they observe that yes, there was a mistake in the code, they will fix it. Correct? No, they will fix that formula of compound interest. After that, what will happen? They will reassign that defect to you, to testers, right? And then you will check that compound interest formula that now it is working correctly or not. Correct? But in that case, again, you have to test the formula of simple interest. You can ask the question that Tanveer, already I have tested simple interest formula and it is working perfectly. Then why again I have to test simple interest formula? Who will answer this? Anyone? Any idea, guys?
So like when they're fixing the compound interest, there is always a high possibility there may be a chance of uh, doing some calculation changes that
Right, right. You are correct. I think we lost you in between by the nothing, but you are correct that whenever whenever developers they are fixing their code, okay, or to a particular component, there are chances. I'm not talking that the chances is 1% or 90%. I'm not talking about that, but there are chances that the existing functionality may also get disturbed. Okay, there are chances that existing functionality may also get disturbed because you know the coding part, they all are related. Even if you miss one if condition, if you add one more else condition, so you can understand the code will behave very differently. So you're not sure that he has touched only that particular section. Okay, so maybe by mistake he has disturbed the existing functionality as well, which was working perfectly earlier. Correct. So that's why whenever you're raising a defect, okay, development team has fixed that. You should check the existing functionality which you have tested again, not thoroughly, okay, but at a very high level. And again, you if you think that a particular functionality is nowhere related, then you should not test that. You should only test those functionality which is related to that particular functionality in which you have raised the defect. Okay, suppose you have functionality A, B, C, D. Okay, you have tested A, it is fine. B, it is also fine. Functionality C, that is also fine. But functionality D, when you have tested, you have observed a defect. You have assigned that to developers. Okay, developer has fixed that and they have reassigned it to you and they'll told you that we have fixed this defect. Please test it. So first of all, you will test that D functionality again, right? But you should check that what all functionalities are related to D. maybe functionality C is related to D, and functionality A and B are nowhere related to functionality D. Then no need to test functionality A and B again. Okay, then you should test the functionality C and functionality D again. So that's why you might have heard that in regression test cases or regression test suite is different. You'll be having different test cases for regression testing or sanity testing. So you should test only those functionalities which you think might get impacted if developer is doing any fixes. Okay, so that is what your sanity testing, and it's a part of regression testing. But again, there are little difference between sanity testing and regression testing. Okay, I will discuss, I will tell you the difference in coming slides. Okay, so high level guys understood what is sanity testing. So sanity testing is like any particular functionality has been fixed by developers. So you should not only test that functionality, you should also test the functionalities which is related to that functionality, because there are chances that while fixing that particular functionality, developer has disturbed the existing functionality which is related to that. Okay, is that fine?
Yeah, fine. Yeah, clear.
Yeah. Any question, guys, on this?
Tanvir, can you give one small example which is related to what kind of test will perform in ETL which is related to regression? Only one example.
Regression testing, you're telling?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, regression testing, I will come in the coming slides now. Then I will
Yeah,
tell
yeah.
you, because
Sure.
in your project, if you're working or maybe if you'll work down the line, so you might hear from your managers that, okay, first of all, they will ask you that prepare test case. So test case, like this is a generic for all the functionalities, you have to prepare test case. Then they will ask you that prepare your regression test case. So now you have to think, what is regression test case? So regression test case means you have to write a test case for those functionalities which are critical. First of all, critical means important, or the functionalities which are interrelated, which are interrelated. Suppose in your house there is some problem in your switchboard. Okay, maybe the particular what I can say switch of light is not working. Okay, switch which is related to light is not working. You have called the electrician. He came. He has fixed the light switch. It is working now, but by mistake he has done some mistake, and the switch of fan is not working now. It happens sometime, right? So he has fixed the light switch, but now by mistake he has done some wrong connection, and the fan switch is not working. It happens, no? So it is exactly like that. So in regression test case, you have to find the test cases which are related, the functionalities which are related. So that should be separate. Okay. In the down the line, I will tell you, okay, that those things. Okay, and this totally depends on your project requirement, guys. In your project, you have to understand that what all functionalities you have and which functionality is related to any other functionality. Okay, so why I given the example of simple interest, compound interest, amount, and all those things? Because simple interest, compound interest, they both are having the same components. Simple interest, you have PRT. Compound interest also you have PRT, right? So maybe if you are fixing the calculation of compound interest, your simple interest calculation might get disturbed. So that's why that depends on your project. So in the project in which you are working, and that's what you have to understand, that which functionalities are related, which functionalities are important. Okay. So sanity testing is this, like when you have raised a defect and the developers has fixed that, then you should find it out that is there any other functionality which is related to that functionality, and you should test that as well, because there are chances they are related and that might also get disturbed. Okay. Now this is like a flow chart to understand this. Let me zoom it. It's visible.
Yeah. Is it?
Okay, so from this, like just a small flow chart, uh, initial builds when the software is relatively unstable. Okay, now the software is a little bit unstable. Unstable, why I have written here is because from testing perspective, everything for tester is unstable. Because if you will think that things are stable, it means our testing is complete, right? So we are under the impression that the things are unstable now. So first of all, these are the builds, build one, build two, build three, or maybe you can assume these are the different functionalities of an ETL project. Maybe soft delete functionality, maybe SCD's functionality, or the tables what they have created, duplicate check, deduplication check, reconciliation checks. Okay. So once this is done, developer has developed this. So what you will do first of all, you will do the smoke testing. In the smoke testing, what you will do? Verifies critical functionalities like application is start successful. Very simple example. I'm doing. Application is getting started or not. So in your ETL case, what you will do? You will check that all the tables which were in a scope. Suppose 20 tables is in a scope. So you will just see those 20 tables name is there or not. Don't write the query and check that data is there or not. Okay. Then take any random 2 to 3 jobs, run it randomly and see if the job is running correctly or not. Okay, that's all. And then see that the data is getting populated in tables. That's all. You don't have to check the data accuracy. Okay, so these things you have to touch every conflict. If it is passed, then you can proceed and do the system or regression testing, or you can do Endtoend testing or exhaustive testing, whatever you want. Okay. Similarly, what happens in sanity testing? You have done all this with relatively stable builds after multiple rounds of regression tests. See, you please concentrate or give attention to these two comments. Here I have mentioned initial builds when the software is relatively unstable. This is initial build. So initial build means right now developer has given you that okay, this particular functionality is ready to start testing. But here I have mentioned relatively stable build. So why I'm telling relatively stable builds? Because you have done multiple testing and after doing some testing you have observed a defect, then you are doing this sanity testing. Okay, so this sanity testing will come after you have performed the smoke testing. You are doing a testing on a daily basis and after some days, 3 to 4 days, you have observed a defect. Then after the defect has been fixed, you will do the sanity testing. Verifies new functionalities, bug fixes in the build. You will verify that the functionality is working correctly or not, the defect what you have raised that is fixed or not. Then if it is passed, then you can perform the other testing activity. So this is a very good schematic diagram to understand what happens in smoke testing and what happens in sanity testing. Okay, hope this is clear, guys. Okay, now quiz time. What's the difference between smoke and exhaustive testing? See, smoke and exhaustive, they both are totally different. Exhaustive testing means you are testing each and every functionality. You are testing the behavior of each and every functionality. You are testing the data. You are testing each and everything to whatever detail you want. You test it. That is known as exhaustive testing. Smoke testing is just opposite of this. You're not bothered about the accuracy. You're just touching the functionalities. You are just checking the table is there or not. In that schema it is there or not. You're just checking it, taking any 2 to 3 jobs and you're running it if it is running correctly or not. Okay, so like that, that is smoke testing, and exhaustive testing is like you're doing the detailed testing. Any question on this? Difference between the smoke and exhaustive testing? Is it clear? Any question in generic, guys?
Yeah, clear.
Okay. What's the difference between sanity and regression testing? Yeah, correct. Very good question. And this is again a confusing question. Okay, see, what is regression testing? Okay, try to understand this. Let me check this example. Suppose you have functionality A. First of all, let's try to understand from generic perspective. C, D, E, F. Okay, you have this 6 functionalities. Okay. First of all, developer has coded this functionality. Okay, and they have intimated you that okay, this is ready for testing. Okay, so first of all, which testing you will do?
Smoke testing.
Perfect. So first of all, you will do the smoke testing. Very high level, you see that the components are there or not, table structure is there or not. Okay. Once that is done, then you will start your exhaustive testing. You will test functionality A, each and every function in functionality A, you will test each and everything, whatever is there in the scope. Okay. Then you will test B, C, D. Similarly, suppose when you're testing functionality E, you observe a defect in functionality E, correct? What you will do? You will raise the defect. Okay. And developers has fixed this. Developers has fixed this defect. You will test it again. Okay. Now you have tested and this functionality is working perfectly. Okay. After this, what you will do? After this, you have to search for a functionality which is related to E, which is related to E. So suppose functionality D is related to E. Why I'm telling related to? Because maybe while coding, they might be having some relation. Okay. So there was a defect in functionality E. You have raised a defect, developer has fixed it. You have tested this. So now you should proceed with testing functionality F, or you should test functionality D again. Which one?
We need to test D functionality.
You will test D again, right?
Yeah.
Because there might be chances that while fixing the functionality of E, the developer has disturbed the correct functionality of D. So you should test functionality D again, right? Now suppose D is also working perfectly as per the expectation. After this, what you will do?
We will check F
You
functionality.
will check F, correct. You will start testing functionality F. Okay. And suppose while testing F, everything is fine, perfect. This is passed. So you have tested all the functionalities A, B, C, D, E, F, and all the functionalities are passed now. Okay. After this, you have to do regression testing. Now, what is regression testing? In regression testing, out of this A, B, C, D, E, F functionality, suppose your important functionalities are C and D. These are very important functionality. Why I'm telling these are important functionalities. Suppose if A, B, E, F is working and C and D is not working, so this total will be of no use. But suppose sometime it happens now that if even if F is not working and this is working, so we can release this to the production, and even if that issue is coming, that issue will not be a big issue. We can fix that after some time. It happens, right? So C and D are the important functionalities. Okay. Then few functionalities are related functionalities like A, C, D. Suppose these three functionalities are related functionalities. Okay. Or suppose here F. These three functionalities are important functionalities. Let me mark this by this color. So these are important functionalities, and these are related functionalities. Now let's try to understand what's the difference between important and related functionalities. Okay. These are important. It means even if any one of this CDF is not working, this total will be of no use. Are you getting my point? If functionality F is not working, this will be of no use. Okay. Suppose you bought a mobile. and that brightness, it's not working. So it is not like that that mobile will be of no use. Maybe you can use it, and uh, you can go back to the shop owner and you can tell that this is a problem, but you can use it, right? But suppose if the on and off functionality or the calling functionality is not working, so you will immediately go to that shop. You will tell that no, this mobile is not working, right? So calling functionality is a very important functionality. So similarly, C, D, F, they are the important functionalities. Now, what is related functionalities? Related functionalities means if there is a defect in A, so there are chances that C and D will also not work. If there is a defect in C, there are chances like A and D will also not work. So these are related functionalities. Okay. Now coming to regression. Now you have tested all the functionalities A, B, C, D, E, F. All are working perfectly. Okay. So after this, you should do regression test. Why? Because while testing this, suppose you have raised defect, lot of defects you have raised. Okay. And you have done the sanity testing as well. But on a safer side, you want to test the first of all your related functionality, that is ACD, and if there is something missing in this important functionality, look, say important functionality C was there, we have covered C here, D was there, we have covered D here, but F was missed, so you should take F as well. So these all functionalities you should test it again. Now you might be thinking that then we already have tested here. Why to test it again? The reason is you have you have created a lot of defects here. Okay, developer has done a lot of fixes. Okay, lot of stitches, lot of fixes he has done. So again, to be on the safer side, I do understand you have done the sanity testing, but sanity testing you just have tested D when there's a defect in E. You might remember, right? But once you are done with the testing, all the functionality, you should do a regression testing of the important functionality again. Okay. And in regression test, you should know that what all for test cases you have to test. So how you can find this? First of all, check what all are the related functionalities and what are the important functionalities, and take a union of this. And then those functionality you should test again. Is this clear, guys?
Yeah, clear.
So like this, you have to analyze your project, and this is specific to project, guys. This is very specific to project, but this is the way you should create the test case. Okay, so like this, if you've done the regression test, now everything means you will be sure that everything is perfect. But again, your testing will not stop here. After this, you will do the report testing. Okay, you will do the report testing. Okay, or maybe suppose these all things you have done in a stage. Okay, then you might have to do some testing in integration layer. So again, same thing you have to repeat. Integration layer, you will do the testing of all the functionalities, and if any defect is there, you will do the sanity test. Then once you're done with the testing of all the functionalities, you should do a regression test for this integration layer. Then you should do same testing in access layer. Okay, then in report testing. And once you are done with all these things, then you should do an end-to-end testing. That will come at the very last. End-to-end testing. That will start from file level validation. File level validation. So then running the control M jobs. Control M job testing. We'll cover that maybe in the last session. And from here till here, you should test that if you have any number, if you have any data in file, so that data from file is coming from all this stages and it is reaching this report or not. That is end-to-end testing. Okay, fine. This is like sanity and regression testing. Now there's a question. One of my students was asked in an interview that the regression test cases are totally different than regular test cases. question was the test cases what you're writing in regression testing is different than the test cases what you're writing in normal testing. No, they are not different. They're exactly same. But the regression test cases are a subset of your normal test cases because see, you have taken A, C, D, F. So you're taken it from here only. So you will not do testing of some different functionality. You will do the testing of same functionality what you have tested here. But why you're doing testing here? Because you are under the impression that developer has a lot of fixes here. So on a safer side, I want to test of these things again. Okay. Next one, functional testing. Functional testing is totally different. Okay. And nowadays you have different functional testers as well. If you will scan LinkedIn job profile, so you will see that nowadays organizations they're looking for functional testers. Okay. Generally like those who are from commerce background, okay, or business background. So they will be doing this functional testing. What is this functional testing? So ETL testers, so they are technical testers. They are doing the technical testing. Okay, like SCDs, soft delete, transformation logic, deduplication, duplicate logic, data mining, and all those things. These are technical testing you're doing, but there is a functional testing as well. Functional testing is you should know how the business is performing, okay, how it is behaving. Like suppose example, on a particular day, there was some transaction happened and the profit was 100 rupees. Okay. Next day, the profit is 1000 rupees. That is not possible that suddenly the top profit will increase by more than like 1000%, right? It's not possible. So these are the basic things the functional testers will test. Suppose the transaction happened. Okay. Your company has invested money in some other startup, but you have not got the information about the shares what you have purchased. It is zero. So how is it possible? If you have bought, if you have invested money, you might be getting some number of shares. But if you have not received number of shares, that information is not coming. It means some data is missing. So these are some functional test cases. So this is done generally by the one who is having idea about the domain knowledge or functional knowledge. Okay. Maybe if I am working in on a company which works in like investment market, so I should be having knowledge about investment, how it happens, what the round of investment, series of investment. Okay, what is the commitment, what are shares, bonds, equities, right? Similarly, if someone is working in healthcare domain, he should know that what all things he has to test from functionally. He should know what are KPI, key performance indicator, and all those things. So those things are functional test cases. Create functional test cases related to project level. And functional test cases and technical test cases are entirely different. Maybe one or two test cases might match, but generally they are different guys. Okay. Functional test cases must be part of recon testing. Yeah, you might remember that while discussing about recon testing, I have told you that your business analyst will give you a report, right? And they will ask you that, okay, the numbers, what is coming on the reports, please test the same numbers are coming on the report what you have generated. So the numbers on the reports what they have given, those will be totally business numbers. Maybe the closing balance, maybe the assets number, maybe the revenues numbers, and all those things. Okay, so you have to match it. So that's why the functional test cases are a part of record testing, because in reconciliation, this is done by the business. You see, your business stakeholders or the business analysts, they never do your technical testing because they don't have that idea. And everyone is under the impression that if the coding is correct, okay, so all the functionalities or functional behavior will be correct, because in coding what you are doing, you are trying to translate your functional or business use cases only, correct? No, so that's why if the coding is correct, the functional calculation will be correct. Take the example of any bank, ICICI bank or whatever it may be. You went and you have done some transaction in ATM, right? So all that credit, debit, and all those informations, what you're getting in your statement. So if your coding is correct, so all those numbers will be correct there as well. So that's why technical testing is correct. Functional testing will also be correct. But there are scenarios where you have to test it separately, all the functional test cases. Okay. Any question, guys, on this functional testing? But for this, you should know your domain. That's why nowadays the organizations they are giving a stress that if you're working in a particular domain, you should know that domain. Then only your testing or development will be far better. Because I remember like in the earlier days, the the resources they don't bother about the domains that okay I'm technical guy. I want to know that how the finance world is working, how the healthcare domain is working, how the energy sector is working. But nowadays, the organizations they are pushing you that no, you should know these informations as well. Then only you can code better. Then only you can test better. Sometimes the development team or testing team they used to suggest some valuable information to the business team. Okay, because they are the one who are working. Okay, perfect. Now moving to the next one, data pipeline. What is data pipeline? This is exactly same as your water pipeline. Okay, what happens in this? Integrate data from disparate sources. You might remember that the very first session, the very first class what I started, we have discussed about the sources. We should know how many sources are there. Okay, and from all the sources, we have to get the data and we have to integrate the data. And then ingest data from disparate sources to target database for storage and analysis. So once we have identified our sources, what we are doing next, we are getting those data in the source file, and then we are running jobs to load the data in our staging table. And after that, we'll go to the integration layer and then to the access layer, which is the target database. That's the main purpose. That's why I've written it, ingest data from disparate sources to target database for storage and analysis. This is required for storage and analysis. This might go through batch processing or string processing or real-time processing. So these are the different processing techniques. So the entire ETL journey I have tried to mention here. These are the different processing techniques through which it will go. Then you will do some technical transformation like the soft delete, the SCDs, okay, and some other calculations, the reconciliation, the deduplication logic, and then we are left with one more inclusion and exclusion rules that will also come. So all those rules and the transformation techniques you will apply. So guys, this logic generally depends on the project in which you are working. Okay. Okay. Then your business transformation. So that is known as data pipeline because it is like you have a very big pipe, okay, and you have inserted data. And in that pipe, inside that pipe, a lot of calculations are happening. Okay. And then finally you're loading data in your target database, and then you will show that on your reports. That's why this is known as data pipeline. Any question, guys? I think the same thing we are repeating here. Anything want to discuss? Any confusion? No. Okay,
No.
fine. So this is the example of data pipeline. Let me zoom this. Hope this is visible. Okay. So you can see this is like a pipe. You can say this is like a pipe. So here what is happening? So first of all, we are ingesting data from different sources. See, we are ingesting data from different sources. After ingesting, we are doing some transformation here. Preparation means we are doing some transformation inside this pipe. Calculations is happening, transformation is happening. Okay, then after that, calculation and transformation, you see you're doing some calculations. After that, you are showing this final data or creamy data or transform data on your OBI platform or Power BI platform or whatever platform it is, so that you should do some analysis. So this shows the entire ETL journey. Okay, the entire ETL journey, and this is very generic. I have shown. Maybe if you're working in a project, you might see something little bit deviation. Okay, but at a very high level, if someone asks you that, okay, tell me the ETL journey, this is the ETL journey. It happens like this. Okay, and the transformation logic that totally depends on the project. It depends on the domain which you are working. Okay. Next is inclusion and exclusion rules. Okay, what is this inclusion and exclusion? So before this, any question, guys? Anything you want to discuss? Any confusion?
No, Tanvir, no.
No. Okay, fine. Then you have inclusion and exclusion rules. This is again a very common transformation rules. Okay, what is this? What happens now? Sometime the data what we're getting from sources, okay, we have different sources, we are getting data from different sources, okay. Sometimes we are not uh, interested in data of a particular region or of a particular item. Suppose like uh, these are the winter days, right? And we know that the cold drinks or the ice creams, right? So the transactions are very less. Very few customers are asking for these items. Okay, so I will tell to my managers who are at different restaurant location that okay, you are sending this data, no problem. Continue sending this. Okay, whatever transactions are happening, but the development team, I will tell them that do one thing: load this data in a staging only. But in integration layer, I don't want these transactions of ice creams or cold drinks. Okay, because they don't show some good numbers. They are very negligible numbers. Keep it in a staging. But while loading in integration layer, don't load it in integration layer. Create a separate table. That table should be like inclusion and exclusion table. So there you mark those entries of ice creams or soft drinks under excluded items. Okay, excluded items. So similarly, whenever you're working in a project, sometime it happens. Okay, because why I'm telling, I'm just giving you a flavor of this because if it comes in your project, this should not be new. You should be having some idea what is this inclusion and exclusion rules. Okay, so that is coming. So sometime in your project, there is a call from the business stakeholders. They will tell you that okay, this particular data, okay, of particular transaction or item or region as well, they will tell you that I'm not interested in this. Keep this or store this in a separate table. Maybe in future I'll be looking into this data. Okay, separate table, and mark this as excluded. Mark this as excluded, but don't show these numbers on the report. That's why he is telling that don't store it after integration you're in access to, because I don't know, I'm not interested in these numbers on a particular report. I'm talking at very specific scenario, guys. Okay, because you know, like that the demand or the request of the business stakeholders, it changes from time to time, and your coding part and your testing, everything has to be done as per the need of the business stakeholders, right? So that is what exclusion. You are getting data of a particular region or item, but you don't want that for timing. So that's why you have excluded that and you have kept that in a separate table. Okay, it is like this is a pipeline, right? From here, I will create a separate pipe. What I will do, I will create a separate pipe. Just a minute, guys. Suppose this is a main pipeline, correct? Fine. I'm audible.
Yeah, audible.
Okay. Then the business stakeholders are told that you're not interested in a particular data. So what you will do? You will exclude that particular data, what is coming, and you will reroute that data to this particular table. You have a separate table here. Are you getting? So this is known as exclusion. You are excluding that. Okay, so this is your exclusion. Are you getting? Because you're not interested in this data for this time being. But suppose if you are interested after some time, after some period, what you will do? You will take this data, again you will go from here and you will ingest in this pipeline. Or from this, you can reroute this to the further level and then you can show this on the report. Are you getting my point, guys?
Yeah, understand.
So it happens in a very specific scenario. Sometimes they're not interested in the data of a particular region or item, but they think that okay, after some time I need this. Because if they think that no, this is of no use at all, so what they will do? They will stop it here itself. They will tell that okay, this data we don't want. They will stop here itself. But why they are asking that no, continue getting that data, but keep it in a separate table. If required, I will ask you and again reroute this. So understood what is exclusion rules? Excluded data.
Yeah.
So for the
Understand.
time being, you're not interested because of any reason. Just example of like cold drink and ice cream, what I have told you. But there might be some other reason as well. This is known as exclusion. Now, inclusion, exactly same as exclusion. Can you guess what is inclusion? Can you guess, guys? No idea. Okay. See. How to read this? I don't know. Say anyone. Let's try to understand what is inclusion. This is a regular pipeline, data pipeline. Okay. Your data pipeline. You're getting data from source S1, source S2, source S3. Okay. You are getting data from the three different sources: source S1, source S2, and source S3. Okay. Now, your business stakeholders who are sitting here, they are looking into these reports. Okay. Business stakeholders, they are looking into these reports. They are business stakeholders. Okay. And you know, like this is Christmas time, right? Celebration time is going on. Okay, fine. And your particular business, they have started a they thought that okay, this is celebration time, so let's start selling cakes as well. Okay, so they started selling cakes. Earlier they don't used to sell cakes, but they thought that okay, this is Christmas time, let's start selling cakes. You might have noticed this, no? Sometime it happens. The sweet shop, they will suddenly they will start selling some different sweets, because
Yeah.
it depends on your celebration. During Diwali, especially, you will see you will get a lot of sweets in the in the sweet shop. They started selling these cakes. Okay, now these sources, they are telling that we don't have this functionality of adding this cake because we have coded everything, because our source and also they have coded. So they are telling that if you want us to send the data of cakes, that how much transaction has happened, the profit loss, everything, so we have to do a lot of coding here, and this will take time. So what you will do, you will create a separate channel for cakes only. Okay, fine. And directly you will add this to the staging layer. Okay, you add this to a staging layer, staging, and this will move to the integration layer, and then to the access layer, or to the further layer. So what you are doing means this is a hard inclusion. Hard inclusion, or this is also known as inclusion. Why I'm telling hard inclusion, I think this is clear to you, because earlier this was not there. We're not getting data of this, but now we want the data of this because this celebration time, Christmas time, a lot of transactions are happening with the cakes. A lot of people they're buying cakes, right? So you want to see that how much profit you have made. So you are creating a separate channel and you're getting this data, or sometime from separate channel, or sometime from this channel as well. Okay, and you want this transaction related to cakes as well. So this is known as hard inclusion. So purposely you are including this just for the time being. So after Christmas and after New Year, you will disconnect this. Okay, you will tell that okay, this is no more required. You will connect this channel. Got it, guys? So this is hard exclusion, and sometimes it's known as inclusion exclusion, or sometimes hard exclusion or hard inclusion. They both are one and the same. Why this is hard? Because intentionally you are creating a separate pipe. You're creating a separate connection. Is this clear or not clear?
Yeah, clear.
Clear to everyone, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So fine. I think so far it's 8:05 now, and I have discussed till here. What's the next slide? Data mining. Okay, so today's Friday. I think you see data mining. What are topics are the data cleansing is there, integration into testing, this time. Now, I think I need one more class. Okay, I will try to finish this because these are all, these are the slides only. Okay, so one more class, right, guys? No problem. You can attend.
Yeah, we can.
Oh,
No problem.
just one day, Monday, one more class, and then we will be done with this. But even after that, if you have any question, if you're facing any new scenario, many of you used to ask, that's very good. And many of my old students as well, they are still in contact with me. If they're getting any problem, they used to connect with me. If you're writing any query, if it's getting hang, if you're getting some problem, you can connect with me, no issues. I'll be there to help you. Okay. So thanks a lot. Those who have enrolled for SQL session, it will start tomorrow at 9 a.m. Okay. So
Yeah.
fine, guys. So I need one more session on Monday, and then we'll be done with this ETL testing. Thank you. Take care. Bye.